Alright, we are start. We are live. Go into here and just drop this down. Yo. Hello, Sibelian. Welcome to the stream. You finally made it. You finally made it, good sir. We pop up the stream, the chat, and then we can start. You made it to the stream where I don't animate. Unlucky. Alright. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing some rig work. Because I want to prepare this character for release. Because there was a lot of bugs that the guys found when they were working with this rig. Can't move that one. Okay. So the things I want to do is I want to make a checklist for it. Text editor. What's this? Forgot what this was, but I think it has something to do with. This does not look very useful. Oh, this was the rounding function I used. Anyway, we'll remove that. I don't need it anymore. Welcome, Cloudy. Welcome to the stream. All right, so to-do list. Let's see if we can finish all of these today. First thing I want to do is to make a geometry node setup. Replicate displacement modifier. 2, I want to I want to derive hair curve strength using size of controller. And then 3, I want to shift the character's body downwards. Or anything else I need to do. Stress test. Okay, those are our 4 to-do list thingies today. And let's start off with the geometry node setup because that's the most fun part to do. How do I close this? There we go. Right, we'll start off with geometry nodes. I love geometry nodes. Is there a way I can like tell the comments? I wanna text wrap this. Is it possible to text wrap? Word wrap. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So I can put it on my side. There we go. Hello, Bis. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna be doing some rig work today. Okay, so in order to do this, I'm gonna do this in a cube first, right? Let's try this in a cube. I'm gonna change this to geometry nodes. We're going to first, before we do anything, I need to set a vertex group. I'll call this displace. Okay, so the point of all of this is I want to be able to make a geometry node setup that allows me to fake wind movement. And I could do it with the displacement modifier, which is what I did here, right? So if you watch this. Oops. This is not moving. Yeah, so if you watch this, I already have this, right? My issue with this specifically is that I need this thing to move. And which makes it really hard to control, because if it moves off the screen, then I have to like, find it and then continue moving it. So what I want to do is I want to use a slider to control it instead. And the only way you can do that, because there's no way to like have a slider here unless you use UV, but I've never used that before. So I'm not very confident, and it'll also affect the actual texture, so I can't use UV. And local and global don't work either. Local means that it'll only get affected if you move it in edit mode, and then global means it'll get affected if you move it in this. So if we go global, see, this works, right? But if you go local, it stays still unless you move it in edit mode. So none of these settings will work for me. So I have to make my own geometry node setup that can replicate this and give it my own settings. Right, so the first things first, we have to make a vertex group. This will tell Blender which vertices get affected by the wind and which vertices do not. Once you're done with that, we go to geometry node setup, and we go in, simply add in not displace, set position node. Boom. And yeah, there you go. Just like that, we can already displace, quote unquote, displace it, right? So what I need to do next is displace. There we go. Oh shoot. How do I cut? It's not that. No. I'll just say that it's awesome. You'll see. You'll see how awesome it is. Okay. Before we do anything, I need to put a selection here. We go in here and we go. Here we go. So what the set position node does is it basically takes the geometry, takes all of the vertices, and then it'll apply an offset to the vertice, or it'll set the position of each vertex if you give a position. What I want to do is I want to give it a selection. So instead of affecting everything, it affects certain things, and the certain things I want to affect are the vertices that I have set on this displacement group. So what I've done is I've selected the bottom vertices and I've put them in a displacement vertex group. The way I can call this vertex group is by simply putting the selection, plugging it into our group input. The reason we do that is because the displacement vertex group is stored in the object data, which you cannot access inside geometry nodes. You have to bring it from outside geometry nodes. If I go, because I don't think there's no vertex group input here, and object info does not give us any information regarding vertex group. So you have to do it from outside of the geometry nodes. So you go in here, click on the selection, and you can see face corners, UV map, short face position, and displace. We need displace. So now that we have displacement, boom, we have now locked it so that we only displace the bottom part. Now this is nice. If we go and add a noise texture, put the noise texture here, and I think if I just increase the scale a little bit, and then add in a... Ooh, okay, here's the thing. Before we continue, I need to go search up how to replicate Blender, how to replicate texture coordinate node in geometry nodes, because I keep on forgetting about this. Geometry nodes. Making a video about that? No, I'm just doing this, and since you guys are here, I'm gonna explain it to you anyway. I could turn this into a tutorial if I want to. Hello, Shadow Snow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you like maths, because we're gonna be doing a lot of maths today. Alright, so I just need to rip this off real quick. Position, object, subtract. Okay, so that's it. Position, object info, and vector math node. Boom. Here, is it location? Okay, it's relative location. And I guess we just do this. Or is it self object? Yeah, self object. Plug that in here, this works. And then we set this to subtract, and then we put this in here. And now if we go put a vector math over here, boom, this acts as our noise, like this acts as like the texture movement. I'll actually show you guys what this is trying to do. Shader editor. Okay, so this is basically, this setup is basically texture coordinate. All right, so this whole thing, can I put it in a frame? Add frame. Put a frame here and just put it inside, just so it's neat and tidy, right? So this whole thing is basically this node, texture coordinate, specifically the object one. And this add node we have added here is simply a mapping node set to the location. And so what the reason this, oh, hey Rockstar, welcome to the stream. We're gonna do some math today. So why this is important is because there's no way for us to technically randomize this. Well, technically speaking, you can if you use 4D noise. If you use 4D noise and you change the W, you can randomize it, but it would have to generate 4D noise, which is more computationally heavy. So if you have a larger scene and you use this on more objects, it's much better to use 3D noise and just move the 3D noise, right? So now we have a way to make the waves move, or like the thing move, right? What I want to do is I want to turn off normalize. Vector math. Let's add another vector math here, and I'm going to do subtract 0.5. This way it just wiggles around the center. Yeah, there we go. So it wiggles around the center. I can also try other textures like wave textures. Let's try a wave texture here. if I do a wave texture instead. Yeah, so this one is like, it's just swaying. This would technically work, but then I'd have to change its direction. So X, Y, Z diagonal, I have to change all of those. One thing you can do here is you can have multiple wave textures. And this is a way you can like fake, not fake, it's not really fake. It is what it is, but so we're gonna multiply, how are we gonna do this? The way we do this is we have to first power multiply. Where's the, my brain stopped working. What am I looking for? Exponent. Wait, can you even can you? I don't know if you can. Oh shoot. I'll just do this. Multiply. This is basically just squaring. It's the same thing. Squaring it this way and then adding them. Actually, this might be a lot of work. I don't think this will work. Let's back up. Let's keep it simple for now. It's here. Okay. Right, so we're going to subtract 0.5. What if we just subtract 0? This is fine. And we go... Yeah, okay. We'll just focus on one direction for now. And I don't like how fast this is, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to add in a combine XYZ here. And then we'll put a divide right here. And then we're going to divide this value by 10. And the reason we do this is because this just basically slows down or makes it less sensitive. Because before, if it was 1, right, I moved a little bit and it's already like just jiggling like crazy. And I don't like that. So I make this 10, maybe even 100, and then it jiggles slower. Much better. Yep, and there's our waviness, right? So next, if I want to make this waviness more... Okay, I subtracted 0.5, so it's centered, right? Now we move it, and boom. Now it goes forward and backwards. It also kind of goes up and down, which is not what I want, actually. Sine, saw... Sine is the right one. Rings, bands, one of them. I can always just, honestly, just make this 0. Yeah, so it goes like this. Nothing much we can do. It has something to do with the orientation of the object. But anyway, before we do that, I'm just gonna use noise first because it's easier to control and it's random. Okay, so now we look at this. It's kind of like, you know, doing that. So reduce the details. Okay, good. Now, we need a way to control the strength of this. Because if we go and look into the actual displacement node, you can see it has the coordinates, which we've already done. The direction, which we have not done yet, but you almost always want to do it RGB to XYZ. That's what I've done. And then there's space, which doesn't matter. Strength matters for us, right? So this is how large the thing's gonna be. So if I just, for example, animate this divide node, let's go 0 here. Boom. Oh, hello Blue, welcome to the stream. I'm making a, what's it called? I'm trying to remake the displacement node inside geometry node so I can have an option to animate the ontos. That's what I'm doing. Alright, so now I fixed my original problem of I can now just use this slider to control how much wind I need. And second, if I need this to be faster, I can just change the divide value. So if I go here and I change the divide value, I can increase the speed. Yeah, and let's make it slower. Yeah, and then if I want to increase the strength, I just do this. Of course, it becomes extremely wonky, but we can't do it too high, obviously. Let's just put a value here. It's not that one. Put a normal value. So if I increase this, it becomes stronger and goes kind of crazy. If I decrease this, it becomes more chill. Now, another thing I kind of want to do, I want to add a, what's it called? I want to add a subdivide mesh in between. Can I get... I don't know how to get this. Subdivision surface. There we go. This is what I need. Not subdivision. It's not subdivide mesh. Subdivide mesh is the simple version. Okay. So if I do subdivision surface and I make sure that the top parts are creased, surely it will work. No, it does not work. Okay. Lovely. Now what? Edge crease. Ooh, okay, here we go. Here we go. I have an idea. So we're gonna need a new selection. So I'm gonna select and add vertex group for these. I'm gonna call this crease group. Add a crease. And then if I just plug this in here and then crease. Boom. It's kind of cool, but didn't exactly do what I wanted to do. Keep corners. Yeah, it didn't actually do what I wanted to do, so let's not do that. I overcooked with that one. Anyway, let's go back to the simple one. Remove the edge crease here. We don't need that. Okay, so we have the displacement and we have the wind technically. We can't go too high because if we go too high, it'll kind of glitch out. What we can do is we can lower the scale. Sorry, increase the scale, so that even if it... Oh, no, it has to be lower. My bad. Yeah, the lower the scale is, the less crazy it becomes. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just stupid. All right, but I got what I needed, right? So this is the wind, and now I want to have a value node here. Well, yeah, value node hashtag frame, and now this will give me the frame value. So if I plug this in here, I can now control the speed using a divide value. Let's go divide, and then let's just increase the size of this. Okay, good. I forgot this is not how I want to do it. I want to do input in. So I want this to be the speed. So if I go here, I need a higher value means it has to be faster. So that means I have to make it, do I have to do map range this way? 1. So higher number is good. All right, let's start this off at 50. So when we increase this number, we speed it up. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what we need. I'm gonna call this speed now. And then now I'm going to do a integer. I think it's called rounding. If I add round, that's good root. Round, exactly what I'm looking for, I think. So I move all of this down, put the round in here. Right, and yeah, so this gives us that choppy look, which is something I want, but it's too choppy, and there's no way for me to change how choppy it is. I'm gonna change it from round to floor, ceiling, truncate. No. Fraction? Nope. It has to be moduli. Truncated modulo. Nope, I'm not sure how to do this. Hello, Leonid. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I have to find a different way to do this. And I think the way we do this is divided by 2 modulo 2? Is that it? No. Shoot, how do I make it so that it updates only every second frame? Hello, Darkheart. Welcome to the stream. Currently trying to do something smart. Geometry Nodes in Japan, yeah, it's I quite enjoy it because it's a lot of math. But I'm trying to think of a way to... Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is, right, so we have the timeline here. This is frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and blah, 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 right? So what I'm trying to do is I want to make it so that this value, currently this value updates once every frame. So At each frame it goes up, right? What I want to do is I want to somehow make it so that it only updates. Oops. Can I like lock the? Can I not lock it? Oh shoot. Uh-oh. Timeline. Okay, whatever. So what I'm trying to do is I want to make it so that every second frame it updates. So this is frame 0, this is frame 2, this is frame 4, this is frame 6. Every second frame I want it to update. And the way I think I do that is I use round. So if I do frame divided by 2 and then I round this. Yeah, so look at it now. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I check this now, yeah, you can see how it became choppy now. So then I can do this again, divided by 3, even choppier. If I do it like divided by 10, then it'll only update once every 10 frames. The issue with this is it's slow now, but we can change that by changing the speed. Boom, and that's how you do it. Okay, that was easy. Nice. So basically what I have to do here is, oops, I just need to move everything back like this. Put a round. I may not understand you because I'm Russian and I don't, but I wish you good luck in your project. Thank you very much, Agent Marion. Can you make an intro for me? Sadly, I am no longer in the intro business, sir. You're gonna have to find someone else who's still willing to make intros nowadays. I don't make intros anymore. What was this again? This is supposed to be divided by some value, which I will call the step. So we put this down here. We can just make this frame on its own. Okay, and then here we call this step. And so what we do is we just increase the step. Haha, now we have, what is it called? I already forgot what I just called it. Now we have choppy animations on our cloth physics. The annoying part here is I would most likely want it to work alongside my animation. By the way, when will be the third practice in the Discord server? It's actually started. It's already up. You can start now. I just posted it. Alright, what was that again? Okay, so we basically got what we needed. Now, let's try and see if I can just apply it. So I'm gonna take this, remove the displacement, add a geometry node, boom, right here. Boom, and it is extremely strong. Position win, right? Okay, here's the cool thing. It works. Right now it's too strong though. So we need to add in this one right here. Put this right here. Yep. And then make it not boolean, make it a float. Where's the float? There we go, float. Thanks for the info. I'm at work and don't have time to sit in Discord, so I didn't see it. I see, yeah. It's fine. Hello, Prismarine. Welcome to the stream. I already sent you my skin character name and the link to my skin on your form. My form? Oh, that old one? Forgot. Can you still access that? I thought I... Huh? It's not you can still access that, right? But sorry, I just don't make intros anymore. I'm currently working on larger projects, so... Again, you're gonna have to ask someone else to make you an intro. There's a bunch of people who still make intros. Alright. Next up is we have the strength, which goes to 1. So now we reduce the strength to this much. There we go. Okay, so next I want to make it so that the default is this. This will be the default strength. Now, how do I do that? I have to put in a value. What do I do? A map range. A divide. Math divide. Let's do a math divide here. So at 1, I want the default value to be like 0.1. So this will be 10. So this is basically what it does. It takes the input, it divides it by 10. So the default value, when you set it to 1, is actually 0.1. But it just 1 looks much better here, and it's easier to control as well. So I need to change the name of this to strength. Strength. Boom. Okay, cool. What's this button do? Animate property. Doesn't matter. So now we just increase the speed. And there you go. Easy peasy. If I need to animate on 2s, boom. And then I need to multiply this by 3 actually. Ooh, I can automate that actually. Here's a really interesting thing you do. You add in another math node here, make this multiply, and you multiply the speed. Sorry, not this one. A step goes here. You multiply the speed with the step before it goes to the divide. This way. Aha, look at that. So if we go like this, right? If we want to keep the speed constant. If we want to keep the speed constant, we use this. So then when we increase the step to 3, it's still the same speed, but now it's just choppy. Then we can just increase the speed manually as well. There we go. Oh, this is so nice. Geometry nodes, everybody. This is what you can do with geometry nodes. And then you can increase the strength if you need to. Or you can just turn it off. You can also just turn it off. Cool. And that turns it off. Now, the only thing remaining, which I don't think I can do now because I have no idea how to do it, is I want to make it so that it's able to follow the animation of the character. Because I don't always animate on 2s. And I don't always animate on 3s. Right? So there has to be a way for me to change this value. Which I think I can by just taking the step, multiplying it by something. I have to think about this, right? So, alright, we'll add in a new option, and this is going to be called offset. Offset. Oh, Fades! Hello, welcome to the stream. Alright, this is very cool. I want to see how you make some of your characters. Oh, thank you very much. Sadly, today's not a character making stream. I've already made the character. But I will be doing a character creation stream soon. I just don't know when, because I'm going to be going to Indonesia soon. Maybe like the 18th or something, and I'll be gone for a week, so I can't stream then. But I do want to make characters from Flower Storm. Eve's Flower Storm. I want to make a character from that, because I'm remaking that MV again. Because I've already done it once, but I'm going to do it again with my new character models. But yeah, anyway, what was I doing again? I need the step. And I need to kind of, let's divide, I think, right? So, step here, offset here. And then if I do add, like this, right? Intro 35 Agent Mayron. Well, if you got $100, I might do it. That's the deal. Not mute. Hide, because I already know what all these does. Move it up. And this goes here, so put this over here. Hide. There we go. You pronounced my name right. Thanks, bro. Something I've become very interested in what you do is the physics, like the wavy clothes in here. Do you have any tips on how to do that in a simple way? Okay, simplest way to do this, right? So here, let's assume this is a cape, right? Let's make it a plane. Let's make this a cape. 90. The easiest way to fake this shit, right? You get this, you subdivide it a bit. Let's subdivide it once like this, and then subdivide. You add in a displacement modifier. You add a new one, go into the properties. All the way up here, changes to cloud. You can also change it to wood, because wood is kind of good too, but cloud is the most random. It's nice. Shade auto smooth. Go into edit mode. Go to your vertex group, add a new vertex group, go to weight paint, click on the gradient tool from the bottom to the top. Do this, right? Save as a wind group. Go into your displacement texture, change the coordinates to object, change the object to let's just add an empty. Not that empty. Plain axis, there we go. And then we just put this in here. Boom. And then you vertex group set it to wind, and you animate one here, you animate one here. Linear, all the way back, add a subdivision surface. Make it simple, and do it before the displacement texture. I think that's how it is. Nah, never mind. Put it after, make it Clark, and then make sure the edges are pinned. And bam, you now have, okay, it's really like bad, but you can make it better. So this is really jittery, so I'm just going to increase the size of the texture. So currently it's 0.25. I'm going to increase it to 0.4. And I'm just going to increase it this way. And bam, that's how I make super fast fake cloth stuff. You can also change the color, and then you can go in here and change it from normals to XYZ. Now it's gonna go like everywhere. All right, now you can just keep on subdividing, and it'll be even more noisy. Sometimes that's what you want. Lowering the strength will help a lot, make it more calm. Increasing the strength makes it crazy. Changing it to normals will make it slightly better. But yeah, that's how I do it. Some hair if you're talking about the hair physics for my older animations, I use cloth simulations, and that's a bit more complicated. So, well, yeah, just a little bit. So instead of the wind vertex group, you just need a pin vertex group at the top. Put the top, assign, or I'll call this the pin vertex group. Once you're done with that, you go into your modifiers, add in a cloth simulation. Once you're done with that, go all the way to the beginning so it doesn't immediately start. Go to the bottom, shape, pin group, boom, and then you increase your cache from 250 to however long your animation is, and then you start playing the animation. And then you animate your mesh, and then you go back and then let it simulate. That's how you do the other one. I hate this because it's extremely RNG dependent. You have to find the perfect settings. You sometimes have to put like force fields just to make it move in the way you want. I don't like it at all. But if you want to try it out, you can try it out. It's easy to get into. It's hard to master, and because of that, I'm just not gonna. I don't want to spend more time on this. But it is very nice, though. I will say it does look very nice. Anyway, back to the problem at hand. So now, the next issue that I was trying to solve here is that it's okay. Look, it's animated in 3s or whatever it's currently animated on. Let's make it animate on 5. So every 5 frames this updates. Now the issue is I might have a keyframe right here, but your thing doesn't move. So what I need to do is I need to somehow find a way to change the offset. I have to somehow be able to like push the thing so it like animates or like it updates on this frame. So if I were to show that, like what that would look like, it would be. Or not. Huh? Wait, why can't I draw anything? Uh-oh. Ah, well, I can't draw anything, so I guess you can't. You guys won't be able to see my visual representation of it, but basically, what I need to do is. So the way this works is every 5th frame, I think. Make offset 0. So every 5th frame. So 1, 2, 3. Why is it 3? I'm confused now. It should not be 1. Huh. Oh, because we're dividing it by something. We're dividing it by the step. 2, 3. Oh, because this round is ceiling. There we go. Now it should be once every 5. 1 floor, not ceiling. Sorry. There we go. Now it should be once every 5 frames. So at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it moves. Okay, now I can understand this. So every 5 frames it moves because everything below here, right? So this is 1. It gets added to 0 because I set this to 0. And then it gets divided by the step, which is 5. So 1 divided by 5 is a number less than 1, right? So that gets floored to 0. 2 divided by 5 is still less than 1. It gets floored to 0. 3 divided by 5, 4 divided by 5, until you reach 5 divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and when you floor 1, you get 1. What flooring does is it basically just rounds the number down to the nearest integer. And what I need to do here is I need to somehow push this. So I want it to animate, or I just want to like kind of push this value forward by a bit. And the way I do this, I have to add a few. Oh, why is this not working? Ooh, I have an idea. Let's change this from offset to from this to integer. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. Another issue. We have to put this beef after the divide node. There we go. So now, if we're at 0, for example, right, and we want to move this 1 frame earlier, so we want it to animate at 4, we just go 1 like that. So now this will animate 1 frame earlier. If you want to make it 1 frame later, we go negative. Boom. All right, like it's gone. Right. I'll just call this a. What do I call this actually? I'll call this advanced wind filter. I'll call it, that's what I'm going to call it. Save it. Boom. It's pretty much done. Let's move this back to like 2 because I like animating on 2s. Make it speed is 2 as well. Yep. What do you think of Common Rider? I have no idea who that is. The only reason I've heard of it, but I know it's popular. Luz Devarjo. Hi. I am a math teacher. Oh my goodness, we got a math teacher. What is this exactly? What is it called? And thank you. This is called Geometry Nodes. Again, I'm not actually sure what exactly you want the name of, but this is Geometry Nodes. It's basically a node-based way of doing coding for. Actually, no. I think I would call it like visualizing not visualizing, node-based matrix transformations. That's what I would call it, right? But I don't know. I'm not a math teacher. We call it geometry nodes, and we just use it to like edit values per vertices. So each of these have a location, and I'm able to move it based off of maths and fields. But I've never used fields before, so that's going to be the next step. Anyway, a picture fixed my problem with the weird harsh shadow, by the way. All I had to do was select the whole world and shade flat. Oh, it was normal issues then. I see. That's nice to see. That's nice to hear. Was it a problem with my blend, Minecraft blend? I feel like that might have been part of the issue. Anyway, so next is this one. I'm going to join up. It's geometry nodes. I'm going to remove the displacement modifier and add another one. Geometry. No, what did I call it again? Advanced. Nope. Geometry nodes. Unassigned. How do I change the name? Can I not change the name? Advanced displacement. Here we go. Mayblend is a cool add-on. Very cool, thank you very much. It is very fun, I will say. Not a lot of people like using it, but this is extremely fun to tinker with because it's math, and I'm an engineer, so I quite enjoy maths. All right. So now that we've had this and I've changed the name, can I just add in just the geometry nodes here? Advanced displacement. There we go. No, not smooth my angle. Advanced displacement. Alright, so offset strength will be set to 1. And then I need to change this so that we select the wind. I need to double check actually. What is the weight paint on this? Let's make the weight 0 at the top, because some of these should not be selected. Alright, next, let's... It's still selecting everything, right? So... Alright. I use it and it's used for people who are just starting out, I see. Hello, Insaniac. You have controllers in the hair. I've been learning rigging, but nothing out there teaches you how to do that, it would seem. Yeah, no. When you learn rigging, you don't usually learn, like, specifically how to rig hair or how to rig this, how to rig that. It's more like they give you, like, okay, here is a technique you can use, and then you decide where to use the technique. So, here's my hair controller. I'll show it to you. This is, I recently updated it. So, the way this works is, I have one controller here, and when I move it, the hair kind of just follows, and I can rotate down, yeah, stuff like that, right? So this is called bendy bones. So if you want to use this is the bendy bones type. This is a bendy bone technique, I would say. And then if I go down here and I show you the other one, so there's another one. Here is just like, oh, not that one, sorry. Here, this one, right? So this one is like another tech. This is like the simple technique of just parenting multiple bones together. So here's another technique, right? So it really depends on what you need and what your character needs or what your animator needs. You just need to learn all the different types of mechanisms. So the main ones is obviously forward kinematics. This is called forward kinematics, I think. Then this is FK, where it's just like, you know, you parent one bone to another bone, and then you can individually move each bone. This one is locked, so you can't move it, right? IK, FK, yeah, exactly, IK, FK. So this is FK. IK is, well, you would know, it's this one, where you have a controller bone that you rotate, and all the bones kind of just make a shape based off of the location of these two, right? And then you have bendy bones, which is usually what people use for like the chest, right here. This is bendy bones. So this is just one bone, but it's kind of like subdivided, so it gives this smooth look. This is one bone, but you can rotate it to, you know, make it deform in a curve. Anyway, you're an engineer? That's sick. Yes, indeed. I'm a chemical engineer. I'm currently unemployed because the job market is so shit. But I'm hopeful. Eventually, I'll get a job. All right. I already forgot my train of thought. What was I doing again? Let's look at the to-do list. Text. All right. Geometry set up to replicate displacement modifier. This is done. Can I like highlight this? Let's make it a comment. Hashtag. There you go. So this one is done. Next is to drive the hair curve. The hair curve strength using the controller. The size of the controller. Okay, that one's pretty simple. Yeah. And oh yeah, I was since we're in the topic of the rigging part now, right? Most of rigging is literally just drivers. So if you know how to use drivers, you'll be fine, right? So what I want to do here is this thing specifically, right? So when I rotate this, you can kind of see that the pivot point, not the pivot point really, but more like this. How do I explain this? Can I not draw? Something's wrong here. I can't draw this. View. Surface. Okay, this is really annoying that I can't draw it, but it's gotta be a reason why I can't draw it. I want to be able to show. No, auto mirror. No, it's just not working. All right, cool. That's fine. It's fine if you don't want to work. It's all just one bendy bone deformer. Exactly, yeah. So here's something we have an issue with, is that sometimes I want this part to bend more than this part, and I can't exactly do that right now because it's like stationary, not stationary, but like it's fixed. The easing is what it's called, right? The easing is fixed. What I do here now is I would have to go into the bendy bone. So this is the main bendy bone deformer. I would go to this bendy bone setting, and let's just make a rotation right now. Right. And if I change the ease in, ease out. Yeah, so the ease out, this is the one I want to change, right? So if I can change this somehow, it would make animating it much easier. Right, and there's also roll. Roll is not important. Oh wait, no, is it this one? I forgot. It's one of these. I forgot which one it was. Curve in, curve out. Ooh, I think it's curve. Right here. This is the one. This is the one I need, right? Is it the one I need? It's one of these. I keep on forgetting which one it was, but I'm just gonna assume it's ease out because ease in is in the other direction, but I have no controller in this direction. So we're gonna drive the ease out. All right. Hello, Hermes. Welcome to the stream. 11 views. Whoa, 11 viewers. That's a new peak. Crazy that people want to learn maths, bro. Anyway, so here's what you do. Now you set properties, right? Which is cool. But as an animator, because this is just me as an animator, what I want to do is I want to make it to everything I control is in the bone. So I don't want to open this, and I don't want to fiddle with anything if it's related to animation. I want to make it so that I can do everything in this bone. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in, add in a new driver. Right? Can you guys see this? Yeah, okay, you can. You just can see that. Oops. Alright, so you can see this screen, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this variable, and we're going to go and change this to a transform channel. That works, yep. So we're going to go to transform channel. We're going to go into and select the rig. And then we're going to select this bone. This bone is called head 004. We're going to go back here, edit the driver, put this over here as head 004. And then we're going to do for average scale. Once we go to average scale, we change this to local space, add in variable. And then we go 1 minus first. So when I... Oops, I accidentally captured a clip. I didn't want to do that. Oops. No, can you... There we go. Have X or Z rotation derive one property that drives all the bendy numbers in one go, perhaps? Now here's the problem. X, Y, and Z rotation cannot be used because X, Y, and Z rotations are actually used to control the this thing, right? So I can't use that. What I can use is the scale. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the scale. So watch this. Oops. Oh, why is it at 0.01? Oh, that's weird. World space? Interesting that it has like a default. Well, I can always fix that by plus 0.039. Oh wait, scale easing. Turn off. No? Oh, hello, Believe. Welcome to the stream. This is TM Learner's weekly math class. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. It's close enough, right? So now what I can do here is I can, if I increase the easing out, I can do this kind of hair shape, which was not possible before. I can increase it. I can also like technically go negative, but I don't think that's a very smart idea. Yep. Increase this by 2. What does this make this? It makes it negative. Oh, because we have a negative variable. My bad. That's why it's glitching out. We have to do variable -1. There we go. So when we increase the size, it gets pushed out. When we decrease the size, it gets pushed in. And I think this one that I just demonstrated on is a really bad one to make a demonstration on because of it's not aligned. You can see it's not aligned, right? So the hair is kind of tilting to the left of the hair, but nothing much I can do there. So I just need to do this for everything else now. So I'm going to copy this, right? Copy this driver, paste the driver here, and then just change the controller of the driver. Edit driver, change this to here. Done. Here. Paste driver. It's your name, head 005. Boom. Then you paste driver, your name, head 007, edit head 007, and this one is a really obscured one, I can't see it. It's this one, right? Yeah, it's this one. We'll move to the side. Right here, we paste the driver again. What is your name? 006. Edit the driver, put 006 in here. Move you back to where you were. Paste driver, edit driver. What are you? 002. Boom. Yep, and now I can do this easily. That wasn't so difficult now, was it? Move this guy back. Alright, and I'm gonna hide. I think this is all done, right? No, I think we have one more. You haven't been done yet. Yeah, you haven't been done yet. So paste. What are you? 001. Oops, wrong one. Paste driver. Edit driver. 001. And yeah, there we go. Yep, and now the hair rig is done. Perfect. I'm going to hide everything on the top and then just reposition everything. Right, and that is everything put in its original position. Save this and remove all the keyframes. Okay, and that is number 2 done. We now have driven the hair curve strength using the size of control. Next up is to shift the character's body down, because this is currently floating and I don't want it to float. I could obviously just do this, but then when I Alt G, it snaps back up. That is a big issue, and I have to solve that problem somehow. Alright, and before we do that, I need to make sure that all of the IK settings are enabled. So we're gonna go, right, so what I need to do is I need to somehow connect all of these bones together and move them all down at the same time and hide that specific controller that does it. And I'm just gonna move you up a little bit actually, because I want you to be at the side here. Right here, yeah. Because you control all of the hair at the same time. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to use a bone. The problem is if I use a bone. No, I have an idea. I think I have an idea, right? So yes, I use a bone. I call it correct. I'm gonna make a new bone and I'm gonna call it correction bone. Move to the side because I can't see. Can't see it. Okay, here. I'm gonna call this bone the correction bone. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add a custom property to this. I'm going to call it correction. I give it a very large range. Right, so the default value will be 0. Okay. And what I want to do here is I want to drive the location of this via this property. And this is how we do it, right? Yeah, right here. So I want to drive this via this because, and this is why, let's copy this driver first. Paste it on the Y. Right. So if I drive it this way and I press Alt G, it doesn't move. This is now its rest position. And so what I can do here is I'm gonna move you back in. Okay, and if I move you down here, exactly, so it's I'm gonna move him down -1. Just to be more exact, right? So if I move him this way, actually before I do that, let me go and okay, I need to give it a shape actually. Give it a shape so I can see it. It's all of the stuff is like kind of blocking the way. It's getting very annoying. Where's X-ray mode? Well, okay, we're in X-ray mode now. So, like, actually, it's big enough for so I don't need it. So, I need to take the body movement and as well as the IK controllers, and I need all of these guys to have a child of constraint. Actually, wait, no, they're all okay. They're all parented to this bone. So what I can do here is I can parent this bone to this bone. Keep offset, so that this bone moves along with those bones, and then these bones are actually parented to this bone. Keep offset. Nice. And then this bone, I don't know if this bone is parented to this bone, if it's parented to another bone that's parented to this bone, but I'm just gonna assume that this is fine to do. Keep offset. Boom. So now I have this, right? And all I need to do is go to the bone properties. Oh, sorry, it's right here. Change the correction to -1. Okay, maybe -1 is a little strong. Let's how much do we need to go? -0.25. Boom. Right, looks like you're going for a master torso control. That's what it looks like, but I'm not going to be using this for animations. The reason I'm doing this, right, is because this is a very specific problem that I have because I'm really bad at rigging, right? So my original problem was this. My character is floating. If I want to like put her on the ground, right here, I can't. She's going to be floating. And I've been trying to, you know, make the default position of these bones go down. But whenever I try to do that, it glitches out. So I'll show you how it's usually done. The way you usually do it is you select every single bone except the root bone. So before we do that, even we need to first enable all of the bone collections. So I go here and I enable everything, right? So I first enable everything, and then I select this bottom bone. Control I to select every other bone besides that. Go here, and then I just move it down 1, 2. That's what's supposed to happen. And also, I already see an issue here because it doesn't. Yeah, there we go. Now we go 1, 2 downwards, and when I do this, look, it doesn't move down. It just doesn't. Like the bones move down, but the character's model doesn't move down. So I have to move these as well. But then when I do this and it breaks. You see, it breaks, right? So that method didn't work, which is why I employed this other method. What I use, like you said, it's a master torso control, but I'm not using it as a controller. I'm using it as a correction device because this will go to -0.5. And why I'm doing this is because now if I do, okay, let's say I make some kind of pose here, right? I go here and then I Alt-G everything. She's still on the ground. Whereas the other simpler method to fix this, right, would be to just move all of her stuff downwards. And if we move all of her stuff downwards, then we Alt-G, she goes back up. That is my problem, and that's why I use this as a solution, right? And now I just never have to see this bone ever again. I just hide it. And it's over. It's no longer an issue. I didn't even need to hide it because I can't even see the bone. Yeah, you get my point. Anyway, I'm Indeli. Welcome to the stream. Yes, indeed, I am. I am live. Alright. Now, with that, we have finished. Shift the character body downwards. Next is to stress test the rig. And I also kind of want to finish up the hair mechanisms because right now, this one still uses the old hair mechanism. I want to see if the bendy bones would work instead for this. Right. And I also want to experiment to see if I can do chained bendy bones. I don't think I can, but you'll never know unless you try. Okay, but pretty much everything's good. We also had an issue where the foot roll was really bad, but I fixed that already, so. Right, this rig is about maybe 90% ready for release. This is fine, we don't have any issues there. I will need to put a mouth, well, not a mouth rig because it's more of. Ooh, I have an idea actually. I have I have an insane idea. Let's do some testing here. I'm gonna take her head and her eyes just for testing purposes. I'm gonna add in a geometry, not geometry, it's like a grease pencil object. Place it right in front here. Let's go to draw mode and let's draw something. And I want to specifically draw with a fill tool. Oops, why did that work? Fill tool? Huh. Wait, I'm confused why this doesn't work actually. Hey, will you save the stream? Yeah, all my streams are saved, bro. You can check them all in my live stream section. Okay, why doesn't this work? I'm confused. Oh, it's because we're using the fill tool. Okay. Oh, hello, Kage. Welcome to the stream. Okay, I'm still confused as to why fill doesn't work. Huh. Tools. Brush settings. Can I razor color? Why can't I fill? I'm confused. Oh, stroke and fill. There we go. Fill only? 1 second. I'm gonna get my graphics tablet. Thank you. How's the stream so far? The stream's going pretty good. We did a lot of maths. Yes, man. Bit of going in for the maths. We made a geometry node setup to have randomized wind that we can also animate in choose. Okay, so I really want the fill tool to work, please, because I need that. Also, I'm just gonna change the color to this. Okay, and just make it slightly darker. Saturate a little bit as well. Okay. So we have this now. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to use the fill tool, which it won't let me. For some reason. I don't know why it won't let me use the fill tool. Yeah, why? It's drawing the lines, but it's not filling in between, which is extremely annoying. Base color. Why? Oh, it's because of this, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, we got it now. I'm confused. Surface, increase the project distance to a bit. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to make a mouth rig using grease pencil. So let's start off with this. Make a square mouth. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this terrible ass mouth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in here, add in a lattice. Oh, nice. Mathematics takes so much patience, but it's actually fun to do, at least for me. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. It is very fun to solve problems. You just need to know how to solve the problems first. That people don't take the time. They don't have the patience to learn. Anyway, it's enough of me ranting. Now, go 6. Go 6 on both sides. There you go. So what I want to do here is, well, all right, it's slipping by. Gotta go now. Have a nice day night. All right, have a nice day too. It is currently afternoon for me, so I'm gonna be here for a bit. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add in a lattice modifier. Boom. Like this. I'm gonna put it over here. Okay. Now what I can do is, oh look, I can now control the mouth using a lattice. We add in a bit. Okay, so I move this down a little bit so it like exactly touches with this base part, and the reason we do that is because now it's like locked in, right? In addition to that, I need to make sure all of these are linear, right? And if I just turn this on, I can now, oh look at that, I can make mouse shapes using this. So I can turn a grease pencil, drawing into a Okay, this one was not that good, but I can turn a grease pencil drawing into a riggable mouth. I can rig it basically. If I add in 15, we add more rows, we have more control points. Right? So this is cool, but I don't need this, right? This is for people who don't have grease pencil. And I'm not gonna be that kind. You guys have to make it yourself. Because I'm just gonna be drawing this normally. Alright, let's remove this and oops. Draw mode. Okay, and now we can turn off the fill mode. I want to use stroke mode. Set this to, yeah, that's fine. Solid stroke. I'm going to take this color and then I'm going to lower the thing and change the hue a little bit. Bit more orangey. Too orangey. Increase the saturation. Yeah, this is perfect. It's not perfect. Lower it slightly. Too low. Increase the saturation, increase the value as well. Yeah, this is the perfect. It's perfect. Gonna default expression should we have triangle mouth. Yep. A little bit high actually. Let me just lower the position. Okay, I'll move the keyframe all the way back. There we go. Now we got that. I'm gonna change the default position of the eyes, I think. A bit lower. Yeah. We're done, I think. Mostly done actually. I could also go overkill and add a grease pencil. Monkey. Grease pencil object, move it to the side, and then give it a, let's save before we do anything. We want to give it a modifier. Outline. The outline, yeah. No, not line art. Line art modifier. Make sure this is the main camera. How do I do that? Camera. Yep. Turn off the compositor. And you have depth of field, turn that off. Okay, so now using the line art modifier. Where's the... Is it this one? Here. Delete. Oh wait, no, I kind of need that because this was, yeah, it has a jump windows modifier. I'll keep that alive actually. This one's what I needed. Alright, so collection will be chrig. Right? And then the layer will be this layer, and the material will be this material. And boom, we have this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the line thickness by about... maybe. Okay, we got this. Then I'm going to add a noise. Don't change a lot. Don't change the position a lot. I'm going to change the strength a bit. Right? And then we can also add a resample or... yeah, simplify? No. What was called edit, generate, length, mirror, outline, subdivide. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Let's just add a dot and dash. Give a lot of dashes, not a lot of dots. Okay, nice outlines. Now we go to line art, to edge types, go silhouette. Individual silhouettes? No, silhouette is fine. Increase threshold. I'm not sure what this... oh shoot, not too high obviously. Material borders won't do stuff for me. If I remove the crease threshold, it's gonna remove a bunch of stuff I don't want. This is very annoying right here. I'm just gonna fix that by moving this inwards. There you go. Now it's really obvious that just one is popping out, which is fine. This is gonna lag a lot, isn't it? What's the FPS when I do this? Oh, it's 4 FPS. That is insanely laggy. Alright, doesn't matter. I'm gonna try it anyway. Geometry processing, overlapping edge as a contour. Please on smooth. Light references edge type. It's one of these. Intersections. I don't want the intersections honestly, so we can keep like this. Okay. Increase the thickness and then lower the opacity to 0.25 or 0.5. So you can still see it. There we go. It's kind of nice. Let's make this 5 and 4. Last minute. And then we can also envelop. Oh, not envelop. Subdivide. That's actually not bad, but I'm gonna make it simple instead. It's probably something I can use, right? Noise, offset, stroke, smooth, thickness. It's one of these. What was the one that guy used? I forgot what it was called. Generate, line art length, envelop. It is envelop is what I'm looking for, right? Expert length, I don't care. Oh, the thickness, change it from segments to deform. Fill? Nope, none of these are good. Maybe we can change the position now. If I change the position like a lot and then make the scale really large. Yeah, there we go. So now we can see all that stuff. 0.1. 0.01. So now it's kind of squiggly, right? There's a little too much things happening actually. We really need that resample curve, but I don't know what it's called. I think it's called simplify. Let's move this up, and then instead of fixed, actually, yeah, let's make it fixed. Simplify, no, sample, adaptive, merge. I don't know what it's called. Sample. Let's just use sample for now. Nope, I have no idea how it works, but anyway, this is pretty much it. Yeah, that's how you use line art. Pretty cool. Anything else I want to do here? Nothing else really. Maybe some material work. What does it currently look like right now? Let's render this out. Are we in PPR neutral? AGX, okay, we're in AGX. So this is what it looks like in AGX. Maybe I want to add a gradient on her eyes, but I don't think it's worth it. That works. This works. I don't need to read that though, actually. So eyes work. No extra controls on this. Honestly, I should probably just remove any rotation of this. There we go. Remove it. I could put deformations. Oh, do I want to put like? Don't think I do. I don't think I do want to put deformations because my other rig, the Endertainer rig one, if the eyes go towards the edges, the head kind of tilts in that direction a little bit, which is very useful. Like it's very useful if I want to do like a simple head tilt, but I don't want to animate the head as well. I could do that, but it's overkill, I think, honestly. All right. Well, the only other thing I need to change is the hair. So I'm gonna copy all of the hair. I want to just test to see if this would work out to begin with, because I don't know if it'll look good or not. Duplicate, Control J, Alt P, hair. All right. Fade flat. All right, this is gonna be the last thing we do today. We're gonna test to see if bendy bones would work on this. If it doesn't work, we're gonna stop it here. I'm just gonna prepare the rig for release. My Gumroad for free. Right, so this is how we do it, right? So we need, okay, I did this in the wrong order. Move this up a little bit, like this. This will be the head, and then we move this down again, and then Alt P, clear parent. Oops, Alt P. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then this moves on its own. This moves in relation to the bone bar. Which sampling size usually works for your renders? I don't know what you mean by sampling size, unless you mean my samples. If you're asking for my samples, I usually go between 32 to 128. If it's a daytime render without any volumetrics, 32. If it's if I have like, you know, volumetrics or some kind of smoke that I'm rendering out, I'll use 128. Nothing too high. Oh, I don't see any reason in rendering for 7 hours. Right? You know? Anyway. We have this. Let's do the thing. Go in here, just activate bendy bones. Give it a lot of segments. And then we make these end handles absolute. The start handle will be this. I'll call it H. I'll call this T. So here we go. End handle has to be tail. H. Okay. I thought a good level is 300. Crazy, bro. If you need 300 samples, then that means your lighting was probably too noisy. Noisy lighting comes when you use emission object instead of using background or lamps. So when I say background, I mean literally the right here. This is the background node, right? So the background node is the best way, it's the fastest way to get lighting. It doesn't give you a lot of noise unless, oh sorry, compared to if you use an emission node. So for example, if you get this, right, and you give it an emission node, surface emission, this is much more, you can say, noisy. So I mean, I don't think I can show it to you because it's such a simple scene. World, let's just deactivate this, right? So let me turn off the viewport denoise, and let's stop at like 32 samples, right? So if you see this, right, hella noisy, a lot of noise. If I switch this over to a point light over here, increase the strength to like 100, move it in front of the character, you can see this is already less noisy than the emission, right? It's still obviously still noisy, but it's less noisy. And that's why you always try to reduce the amount of emission objects you use, because emission objects cause a lot of noise. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so what is this called? This is called bone 001. What I'm going to do is going to go in here, add a vertex group, call it bone 001, and assign everything to it. Then I'm going to give this a armature modifier. I'm going to put this before the solidifier, and then put the object as the armature. Now when I do this, oh look, it moves. Crazy. And what I can do here is I can bend it this way. Now it's super blocky right now, and the reason it's super blocky is because we don't have a lot of loop cuts. What I do is add a subdivision surface modifier. Move this up. Turn it to simple because we don't want to have the edges like that. And now, oh look, it is so much smoother. If I increase the amount of subdivisions, it becomes even more smoother. Now this works. This is basically done already. I don't need to change much. This does need to be parented to this though. Keep offset so that we do this. Then we can swing it like this. If this works decently well, I can also add a stretch to, and then stretch to the T-bone. And the reason we do this is now we can stretch the hair if we require. Not gonna be that useful. Another thing we can do is instead of using stretch to, we can also use track to. Use that track. Put this over here. See? Now, oh, I can do this now. This is pretty cool too. So I can use either this or this. I still think using a normal, what's it called? The FK mechanisms might be better. I really feel like that might be better. Because especially for the single ones, right? The single strand ones definitely can just use FK because there's no point in bending such a small strand. But other than that, I think it's ready for release. I'm just gonna... I guess I should probably just double check Toby as well. See if there's anything wrong with Toby. Alright, the other model. This one has nothing special, so I don't think I have to change anything here. Because he's already at the default height of the rig. And I think he's missing his jacket, which is here. yeah, and here's the jacket. He's ready. I can just ship this out. All right. Overwrite. All right, guys, that was a very productive stream. I think I'm gonna call it here. I'll just prepare the rig for release on the side. I'll make like a render as well, and then yeah, I think I'll probably stream again. Not tomorrow because I'm busy watching a match tomorrow. Probably on a Wednesday, maybe a Tuesday too. That works. I might actually be gone on a Wednesday. We'll have to see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.